Mackenzie Dern gets a revenge against Amanda Ribas this weekend at UFC's Fight Night, first Fight Night card of the year. We're going to break this card for you right now. Next in Fighting with Friends. Welcome back to Fighting with Friends. It's your boy, Brother Gaia, coming to you with another recap of the first Fight Night of the year for UFC. Like I said, Mackenzie Dern has got a revenge against Amanda Ribas. With me, recapping this awesome fight card is none other than the one and only, the baddest man in the world, Brother Jedi. How's it going, broski? Let's just give Jedi a second there to come in. It's a bit slow today on the internet side. While that is loading. Okay, there he is. There he is. Jedi? Can you hear us loud and clear? No, still nothing. Okay. That is okay. I'll kick it off in the meantime. This fight card was quite amazing. There was a lot of knockouts, a lot of finishes, which is quite surprising. You know, the UFC has been notorious over the last few fight cards for not getting that many finishes, but this one didn't fail us at all. We got quite a number of finishes. Starting with the main event, there was a finish in the main event as well. Amanda Ribas fought against Mackenzie Dern for the second time, and this time ended in Mackenzie Dern getting the win. Fantastic result because the first fight didn't go necessarily in her favor. She got in the first fight that she got very much nullified by Amanda Ribas. Amanda Ribas' wrestling defense was actually phenomenal in that first fight, but this second fight was completely different from that first one. Mackenzie did look like she evolved dramatically since the last time she fought Amanda. Much better striker than she was before. I mean, we know that Mackenzie was predominantly just a jiu-jitsu specialist. Sometimes wrestling was okay here and there, but the striking wasn't really the best, and that's where she got found out most of the time. But she evolved. Literally, 2024 was her year, and I think it paid dividends. We saw it in this first fight because the first round, I think it's safe to say that she dominated Amanda. She landed the takedown in that first round. She was even striking a lot better. She pushed the pace. She had control over that first round really well. And then in the second round, I think Amanda fought back. She made it. It's fine, Jedi. You're back. I'll hand it over to you now. Now I'm just giving a little bit of build up for this breakdown of this fight. Amanda came back in that second round really well. She had a takedown of her own. Reversed Mackenzie Dern's position and had control of that second. Now you can go out. I can't hear you. She had control of that second round, and then in the third round, Mackenzie came back on top, was a bit more aggressive with her forward pressure, and then landed a takedown of her own, and eventually sunk in that armbar. Very very beautiful armbar, by the way, and top performance. And I think she well deserved the performance of the night. But anyway, Brother Jedi is officially here. Connection is nice and stable. Jedi, you're good.
Yeah, it's good, man. I don't know what the hell happened there.
It's
It's like
just
as we hit the record button and everything broke.
it's just the Wi-Fi situations when it happens. It's all good.
Yeah,
But good
I
to
think
have
it
you
was a
back on the.
cloud.
It is a bit of a windy day here in Cape Town, so it does affect a little bit of the internet. But Jedi, this is your first episode of 2025 with Fighting with Friends. Welcome back. I hope you
Oh
had a
yeah,
good holiday.
yeah,
Just
no.
give us your thoughts on this main event that took place this weekend.
Yeah. When the card was released, to be honest with you, I wasn't so amped about watching this whole card,
Mm,
other than the main event. Which I
yes.
also kind of knew how the fight was gonna go down.
Yeah.
So this fight was kind of the same, but obviously a different outcome.
Mm,
Um,
mm,
from what I could see was kind of Ribas showing off talent. You know what I mean? The way it looked was like she didn't really have a
mm.
game plan to me. She just went in
Yes.
there and fought Mackenzie. However, she
Yeah.
wanted to fight. It
Yeah.
looked almost as if she felt that she's better than Mackenzie everywhere, and she's not scared. There's nothing that she
Agreed.
can do that she's not worried about. And
Yeah.
for Mackenzie, you could see it was a very strategized, game planned fight.
Yes.
Like you could see she wasn't just kind of throwing balls to the wall and caution to the wind. Where
Mm, mm.
Ribas was just walking in there, trying to close the distance and fight, just like Peter up.
Yeah.
And I think Mackenzie defended really well for the most part, and then I felt that she was maybe 2-0 down going into
Mackenzie.
the third round. Yeah,
Woo!
I felt Mackenzie was maybe 2-0 down because Ribas, the first round, I think Mackenzie probably won. You could give
She
make an
won the
argument
first
for
round.
won that first round,
Yes.
but you could feel that the tides were shifting into Ribas's
Yes.
favor. She was like, getting stronger as the fight was going on, but also getting more tired.
She's getting tired.
It looked like in that after the first minute of the third round, you could see
Yeah.
the cardio was more on Mackenzie's side,
Favor.
and
Yeah.
and I think that kind of brought her through. And then obviously they went to the ground. She reversed it, and then just beat her up and landed that armbar, which was a really good win.
Beautiful.
So I think it's 1-1 now, right?
That's correct. Yeah, 1-1.
So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see these ladies go at it again. Maybe not immediately, but after this. Because who was the other ladies that fought? There was also like a second fight. I think it was Loopy and someone. Nah, it was like last year.
Oh yes.
So yeah, I look forward to see how this division
plays out
goes now. Yeah. Because
I mean,
there's a lot of interesting things happening just under the top two.
Well, I mean, the title fight's taking place this coming weekend, so we can look forward to that. That's going to be exciting to watch. Excuse me. I think it's safe to say that Mackenzie Dern...
But also, I give Mackenzie probably performance of the night for that.
She did get it. Yeah. She got performance of the night. Let me just bring it up on screen there. I think it's safe to say that Mackenzie Dern's career is starting to actually go where it was intended to go when she first signed for the UFC. Coming in as this Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champion, like this hot prospect, and it took a couple of losses because she couldn't really strike, but she evolved that. I think it's safe to say that she evolved her ability to strike a little bit better. She knows how to pace herself throughout the number of rounds. She doesn't get tired as often as she was in the past. And I think that paid dividends in this fight for her. So going forward, who do you think would be a fantastic matchup for Mackenzie Dern? I think it's safe to say that they probably are going to have a rematch, but it also depends on what Amanda does next. Because Mackenzie's on an upward trajectory right now. She's got a couple of back-to-back victories, whereas Amanda's got a win and a loss. So Amanda's going to do a bit more to get that fight back, I think. But Mackenzie Dern can now pretty much climb the ranks even further, and I think this pushes her up from...
Yeah, they got to give her somebody out of the top 5. It's probably going to be Andrade, just because it's like
again
new school versus old school kind of fight.
Andrade knocked her out the first time last year, actually.
That's why she would want it back. You know what I mean? Who else? Like Amanda Lemos.
She lost to Amanda Lemos as well. She can fight Jandaroba.
Get one of them back, probably.
She'll probably get Verna Jandaroba, because that's the woman that's ranked number 3.
That's a crazy.
And she's beaten everyone. And the only person she hasn't fought was Whaley and Tatiana Suarez, who's going to fight now for the title. So she's gonna have to fight against the person that's third. That's the best kind of matchup, I think. But for Amanda can take on one of the 2 Brazilians, either Andrade or Lemos. That would actually be good for her to kind of climb back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but she just lost now.
I get that.
Lost now. She's probably
going to fight who? Oh, we lost Jed there. Okay, no worries. I think myself and Jed are in agreement that was really one of the best performances we've seen out of Mackenzie Dern since she's been in the UFC. All right, we're going to keep it moving nice and swiftly. And when Jed comes back, you can just hop on with me when we're busy breaking down or recapping the next fight. So the co-main event, we saw the battle of the South Americans. We had Santiago Ponzinibbio had a fantastic performance against Carlston. Wild fight back and forth between these 2 gentlemen. I think it's safe to say that Carlston has definitely put in a performance that's going to make him a recognizable figure, because he's a character, he's a fun guy to watch, a bit wild, a bit reckless, puts himself in danger, a bit too much for my liking, but it makes for very entertaining fights. It's really good to see Santiago Ponzinibbio come back. He was also pretty much on the upward trajectory until he took a few losses. Took some time off, came back, and what a performance, especially coming back into a lower weight. He was fighting middleweight before this, made it down to welterweight, and I think he looks good in this division, if you ask me. He looked really vibrant, very quick 1-2s. His boxing was phenomenal to watch, but he always leaves his chin up, and he also has a tendency to overextend his strikes, which meant that Carlston Harris could counter those strikes and actually land some of his phenomenal strikes as well. Let's get into the numbers of this fight. I think both these guys got knocked down, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, both guys landed a knockdown on each other. And that was amazing to see. Just wild exchanges between these two guys. And then I think in the third round, third round is where Ponzinibbio landed that beautiful strike to land that knockout blow. But at that point, Carlston Harris was already, he was already done for. He couldn't shake the cobwebs. He was rocked too badly, and to make his way back out of that was a bit too little, too late for me. And really good performance from Santiago Ponzinibbio. He is a little bit of the age where he's touching 40. I think he's only a year and a half away from being 40 years old. I don't know if he can make another run. This is going to be another attempt for him. That's what's been said out of his camp, that this is going to be another attempt because he's in a new weight division. He's going to try and obviously climb the rankings and maybe just have one last crack, potentially making a run at the top 5, top 10. But I don't know if he's going to have the makings of doing that. He's got a cool skill set, but I don't know if he can crack the top 10 in this division with that skill set and the age. Whereas in Carlston Harris, I think Carlston Harris is a prospect. I mean, took a bit of an unfortunate loss, but it's only one. I think he's got a good creative side. He's vibrant. I can expect to see him a bit more in the future. So very excited for Carlston Harris. Unfortunate for that loss, but exciting fighter. Jedi, you're back.
Yeah, fuck. Sorry, bro. Crazy.
It's all good, bro. It's all good. I keep it going. Obviously moved on to the co-main event, as you can see on screen. Wild fight. That's the least to say. I mean, there's so much. There's a nuts fight to watch. Give me your thoughts, Jedi. I'd love to hear what you make of these two gentlemen.
Dude, at first I thought that Santiago was gonna piece him up fairly easily, but Carlston Harris clearly showed that size and power can make a difference, because he looked like he was in another division. Firstly, he looked much bigger than Santiago for me. Maybe it was just his length, you know what I mean? But he looked really big.
He's tall, yeah.
You could see when he hit Santiago, like that was effective. You know what I mean? But very entertaining fight, back and forth going. I mean, that Hammer, I don't think I've seen many Hammer first knockdowns the way Santiago got knocked down.
Yeah, it was like a weird shot, bro, but it worked.
Yeah, I think the fight was really cool. Hats off to Santiago, showing why he's such a household name in the UFC. And he should get somebody. What weight is that? The middleweight, eh?
No, this is actually his debut in the welterweight, bro. He actually came down to fight this fight.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah, I thought it was middleweight, and I was surprised. But this is a welterweight fight.
Sense. Okay, cool. Nah, it was a very entertaining fight, and hats off to Santiago. I think he done very well. I don't know if he should stay in the welterweight, to be honest. It looked a bit strange for him.
Good question. Good point.
But also, Charlton Harris fought really well. I had him winning the first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
But in the third round, you could see he was a little gassed, and he's kind of not his confidence, but just his energy. You could see he was a little done. You know what I mean? And Santiago was like, okay, this third round, I'm gonna go at this dude. And that's what happened. You know what I mean? The third round, Santiago just kept the pace up and basically wore him down, and that's how he finished.
Finished him at the end like that. So what I was talking about before your uptime was the next move for Santiago. I mean, I think he's 38 or 39 years old.
Yeah. 38.
So 38 years old, and now he's moved down to a new weight. This is a new run. I was saying a new attempt at maybe some.
He's not eating meat anymore. He's on a diet. That's
So he's obviously trying to do a Daniel Cormier, a global tech shader, 40-year-old man chasing down the gold. Do you think that's possible for him at this point in his career? Is considering the division of the welterweight right now and who's fighting in that division?
As long as he understands he's not making a run at the title, you know what I mean? He's here to put on entertaining fights and to get fans out and be excited about fights where it's high level but also kind of messy.
Messi, yeah.
And that's how a lot of his fights is.
It is. That's what they
So
say.
I think in the welterweight, as long as he stays under the top 8, it could be. He could have another 3 years. I don't know.
Another 3 years.
Yeah.
That is big. Let us know in the comments,
I
please, ladies and
mean,
gentlemen,
you
what do you
didn't
think
know
about
what's gonna
Santiago?
happen. Also, you know what I mean. You would have to
Uh,
maintain this new diet of his, this new lifestyle.
I don't know. I mean, there's
But
Michael Venom Page, Vicente Luque, Carlos Prates, Michael Morales,
yeah, but
Jeff
those also
Neal.
trying to go up. You know what I mean? So if he like fights them, it's fine, but and loses, it's fine as long as it's a fun bloody fight.
Yeah, I think he loses to all of them, to be quite honest. And that's only the top 15 guys. That's
It's
like
fine, but the
only
fans and the UFC wins.
the, unlucky for Santiago, because I don't know if he can challenge those guys there, to be quite honest. And they shot a bullet now that's taking on Michael Venom Page. That's climbing up, so it's going to get more tough for him, I think, personally. But let's see. Wish him all the best for this new division and the new attempt at the UFC for Santiago Ponzinibbio. As for Carlston Harris, excuse me, exciting guy. He should work on how he can pace his stamina a little bit better. I do think he's going to be something to watch a bit later. Big fighter for the Brazilian fans for sure. But okay, Jed, let's keep it moving to the third fight of the night, which I was actually putting a lot of stock on this fight, to be honest, just because that Abdul Razak Alhassan was really trying to campaign for the fight against Dricus. He was calling out Dricus, saying some things about him, created some beef about Dricus last year. So I was like, okay, if Dricus is on your radar and he's on your mouth, I need to pay some stock into and see what your buzz is about. And I'm not impressed with Abdul Razak Alhassan, to be quite honest with you. I'm not impressed at all. But Jada, give us your thoughts. I'm handing the mic to you about this fight. This fight wasn't that long, so give us your
Yeah,
synopsis.
fun fight. I mean, it was a fun fight. One guy fights with like a lot of high energy and fast explosive stuff, and the other guys, Almeida was very calm and chilled and kind
Very
of
calm.
picking his moments. Abdul was doing really well in the beginning. He was
Yeah,
kind
for
of
like
pushing
15
pace.
seconds.
I think Almeida was kind of just to like suss him out and get the distance and the timing. And once he got his distance and timing, he started
Yeah.
beating Abdul. You know what I mean? But how the
Yeah.
knockouts game, oh, that was freaking crazy. And it was like once you get an animal into a corner, you're liable to get slapped on the right hand.
Yeah. It was caution to the wind.
Oh, but big ups on him to stay calm in the firefight and get a counter while Abdul was loading up to knock him out.
Yeah.
Very fun. I don't personally know any of the dudes. It was my first time seeing either of them. So yeah, I look forward to seeing them both. I don't know yet if they're really good or if they're really shit, but it wasn't. It was entertaining to watch them go.
Highly entertaining. I mean, I'm impressed with Cesar Almeida. I've watched him before. He's very creative, and like you mentioned, his composure is one of his best attributes. He doesn't really get that reckless. He's very calm, but he's also explosive when he does strike. When he does let his hands go, it's very explosive stuff. Whereas Abdul Razak is so powerful, he almost throws the technique out of the window and the patience out the window. He just goes at you
loading up some big shots.
wild. And that's why he got caught, because he was loading up big stuff, and Cesar he just stepped back. Dodged that right hand, threw a straight left, dropped him. Now I was like, bro. And it doesn't look good for Abdul. It really doesn't. Whereas in Cesar, it looks fantastic for him, because now he can really go up there and make a charge at maybe some of the guys in the middleweight. I mean, Michel Pereira, maybe. You know what I mean? You could fight against Michel Pereira. I think Anthony Hernandez has probably got another fight coming up soon. But I think he can make a crack at the top 15 at this point. Cesar Almeida now, because he's fought a few times and he's got a lot of finishes to his name. So and like good highlight reels. I think a fight like that, beating someone like Abdul Razak, gives him that opportunity to say, listen, give me the guy who's number 15 at least. You know? I don't know if you share the same sentiment. Oh, you froze again. Okay, let us know in the comments, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about that fight? That was obviously one of the wildest fights on the fight card, and also just explosive all around. And let me know what you think about Cesar Almeida, and who do you think he should be fighting next? I'm considering of doing another video tomorrow about who I think the matchups should be for these opponents, especially for the winners and who they should fight next. But we'll keep it moving on our episode for now, and we're gonna conclude with the fight between Chris Curtis and Roman Kopylov, also in the middleweight division. And as you know, you're at Fighting with Friends, where myself and Babu kind of stand with Chris Curtis. Just we kind of feel like he's always just a little bit short, and short as in the sense that he doesn't really cross the finish line. He always just ends before the finish line, which is not really a good thing. And he speaks about himself and as if he's this legendary kind of fighter. I mean, he's good, but he just comes up short every time he fights, and it's a bit unfortunate. And that kind of leaves a little bit of a bad taste in the fans' mouth. But in this fight, he didn't do too bad. I think he still lost all 3 rounds, but he didn't do too bad. He fought a good fight. He's got good jabs. It was orthodox against southpaw against southpaw, which meant that he couldn't really throw so many of the explosive strikes the way he wanted to. He landed a couple of uppercuts. I think Roman Kopylov was just a bit too slick, like we predicted. He was faster, taller, used his reach really well, chopped the legs. He kind of took Chris Curtis's legs out of him, and even rocked Chris Curtis in every single round, which was quite phenomenal. However, the fight does end in quite a bit of controversy. As you can see on screen, it shows that Roman Kopylov won by TKO or KO, and that's very questionable if you've watched the fight, just because Chris Curtis wasn't entirely knocked out. I mean, he was rocked and he was knocked down, but he was knocked down for like maybe a flash moment, maybe a second or two. And within that 2 seconds, I think there was 5 seconds on the clock, and he got head kicked by Roman Kopylov. Beautiful head kick nonetheless. But they dropped Chris Curtis, and then within that 5 seconds, there was about a 3-second moment left. Chris Curtis was in the moment of getting up, and the referee waved the fight off as he was knocked out. And Chris Curtis jumped up immediately and contested that, but he kind of asked the referee, "Listen, like, why did you call the fight? I mean, I was pretty much still in it." But now what happened is the fight resulted in a knockout and meant that Roman Kopylov won. Look, he would have won the fight regardless. He would have won by unanimous decision. But now results look as if Chris Curtis has lost by KO. Not a good look on his name, and not a good look for the referees of the UFC right now. Jedi, I was just concluding about how this fight had ended. It was a good fight up until that last moment. But give us your thoughts about how do you think about the fight as a whole, and also the stoppage.
Yeah, this, like I said earlier in the beginning, when I looked at the card, I was not amped about this card, but this would have been the only other fight that I would have paid attention to, because I know this could be a competitive fight. I think
it was.
Yeah, it was very competitive. Also going at him. What was more surprising is that nobody went for takedowns until the very end.
None of them.
Nobody threw a takedown. To just boxing. Roman was obviously using more kicks, but Curtis's boxing, I think, he was doing very well to piece Roman up. I think going into the third round, it was 1-1.
They were close. I think round 1. Yo, Jed, your audio is very soft for some reason. Yo, your mic just like completely went quiet there. Yeah, I still can't hear you. Okay, it's probably gonna come back when his connection is sorted again. But yeah, I think the first round, it's safe to say that Roman Kopylov won that first round. He's slightly outstruck him.
Personally, I think it was very close.
Yo, Jedi.
Yeah, I think it was very competitive. I think that it was surprising for me to see how Roman was choosing to box with Curtis, because I felt that Curtis's boxing was better. The only thing that kept Roman really in it was the fact that he was kicking. So in the first round, it looked like Curtis was a bit tentative of he might get taken down, but Roman didn't shoot. You know what I mean? And in the second round, you could see Curtis was like, okay, we're gonna box now, and it was going well. Like he brought it back. I think it was 1-1. Third round, it was very, very close. I think Roman kind of still would have stolen it because of the
I thought he
takedown.
did.
He took him
Yeah,
down and kept him there for a bit, even though Curtis
yeah,
got back up. And then the head kick was
yeah.
like probably one of the slowest head kicks I've seen. Head kick knockdowns I've seen in my life. And then
Caught
for
him
the
flush
rest,
though.
caught him flush, yeah. So I watched it with no sound, so I didn't really hear what was going on and whatever.
Okay.
As for the early stoppage, it did for me kind of get stopped early. He did take a big kick, you know what I mean, and he like stumbled and whatever. But
he wasn't knocked out.
Yeah, he wasn't out yet. So it's like, you know, one of the things where the ref, it's their job to protect the guys, but it's also you want to see the guys go out on the shield, you know, they must get beaten up or like actually stopped before you can be like, okay, this guy lost. Like, fair enough, he might not have made it back, but he would have survived to the decision. You know what I mean?
Because there was 3 seconds left.
Exactly. So yeah, I don't know if they're gonna run it back, but I do feel that they're gonna meet each other again for sure.
It depends, on Chris Curtis, I guess. I mean, this is now another back. I think it's 2 losses in a row, so kind of depends on where the man's head's
it's
at.
not like he lost outright like losers. You know what I mean? Before this, what happened? He got knocked out also, but
I think
he got knocked out.
Yeah.
Kind of against who again?
I'm gonna check here quickly.
Like an Australian man, I'm guessing.
We'll just see here quickly. Because the thing is also about the stoppage, Jedi, that I forgot to mention, is a very important detail as well. Is that after the head kick happened, Chris Curtis stumbled, but he didn't go flat onto his back onto him. He wasn't out. He was onto his knees. He was about to get back up. The referee came over to him to kind of wave the fight off. And literally, immediately when the kick landed, Roman Kopylov walked away. He literally walked away. He didn't go and try and finish him. Yeah, he just stood there and he was like walking back. He didn't go up to go and finish Chris Curtis, like to end the fight right there. He just thought the fight was done and he walked away. And Chris Curtis was still looking at the ref like, whoa. The ref called it. So it's very, very controversial there because all 3 parties that was involved, Chris, Roman, and the referee, well, not so much Chris Curtis. He should have just blocked the kick, but he didn't. He was making his way up, so that was fair on him. But Roman Kopylov should have finished the fight properly. And the referee should have also allowed, if you're not seeing Roman coming off to come and finish the fight, then recognize that Chris Curtis was actually on his way of getting, like, he was going to get back up. So, yeah, there was a couple of mistakes there. But I'm just going, Chris Curtis lost to Brendan Allen in his last fight by split decision.
Yeah, there we go.
Which was a very boring fight, by the way.
Yeah.
It was a very boring fight. Which is why we don't really put that much stock into Chris Curtis. But anyway, very controversial, but okay, good fight nonetheless. The last part was a bit shady at the end of the day. But okay, Jedi, that was the fight that you watched last day.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. No, then that's fine. I'm just gonna quickly just breeze over the rest of the fight card, the ones that I did watch, and I thought it was really fantastic. Christian Rodriguez was the fight before this. He took on a UFC debutant in Austin Bashi. He came from the Dana White's Contender Series. He was undefeated up until this point and took the loss. He's got a good prospect. He's a fantastic wrestler. Doesn't box very well. He should work on his stand-up, but he's very, very young, so he can go very far. Christian Rodriguez, also only in his 20s. Very good boxer, very composed, but he has a tendency to take very long in the fight, which kind of makes for a boring fight. I'd love to see him go out there and be a little bit more aggressive and finish his opponents and not just, fight just to get that points. The fight before that between Panule Sariano and Urus Medic was also only like a couple of seconds long. Big knockout for Sariano. That fight didn't last. It was like, look there, 31 seconds, bro. It was so quick. The fight was so quick, bro. It landed. There was like so little shots that was thrown, and the next thing you know, someone was laying on the ground. And so good performance from Sariano. And then obviously on the preliminaries, unfortunately, I did not catch all of them. But I know Thiago Moises fought a fantastic fight in his fight against Trey Ogden, and then obviously the new kid on the block, the heavy fan favorite in Marco Tulio. He fought against Ihor Pretoria and he knocked him out literally within the first round with a beautiful straight right. So good performance from him. But in a nutshell, I think there was a great card for the UFC. Like I said, a number of finishes. So it started the year very, very good for them. Now we're going to move into a new week, which means we're going to be doing another preview for you coming up in this new week. It is going to be UFC 311. It's the first pay-per-view of the year, and we're going to see Islam Makhachev taking on Arman Tsarukyan for the second time, and I cannot wait for this fight. Jedi, any final thoughts before we close it off?
Yeah, get the money ready, boys. Next week is a money weekend.
Let me just move that there. Next weekend is a money weekend indeed.
Yeah.
So we're also going to be bringing back our parlay episodes because now AD is also back. So that means you can look out for some interesting bets from the Fighting with Friends group. But anyway, Jedi, thank you so much for doing this, broski. I'll catch you and the rest of the panel and the audience members on the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We're well on our way to our first 1,000 subscribers. We love the support. We keep it going. We keep doing it. It's dang shit, exactly. Jedi, Shot, everyone else out there, stay safe. Good luck for the new week, and we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.